In the ancient city of Rājagaha, there dwelled a renowned courtesan named Sirimā. Her unparalleled beauty and generosity were widely spoken of throughout the land. Every day, Sirimā would offer alms food to a group of 8 monks, who gratefully accepted her offering. Among these monks was a young disciple. He had never laid eyes on Sirimā, but had heard tales of her extraordinary beauty and the delectable food she provided to the monks. The young monk's heart became filled with a longing for Sirimā, despite never having met her. One fateful day, the group of monks, including the enamored young disciple, journeyed to Sirimā's abode. Unfortunately, Sirimā was unwell that day, but her deep reverence for the monks compelled her to be carried to their presence. As the young monk beheld Sirimā's frail form, weakened by sickness, he marveled at her radiance, and a powerful desire stirred within him. Tragically, that very night, Sirimā succumbed to her illness and passed away. The news reached King Bimbisāra, who hastened to inform the Buddha of Sirimā's demise. Recognizing the opportunity for a valuable teaching, the Buddha instructed the king to bring Sirimā's lifeless body to the cemetery and keep it there for 3 days, protected from scavengers. King Bimbisāra dutifully followed the Buddha's instructions. For 3 days, Sirimā's lifeless form remained untouched, shielded from crows and vultures. On the 4th day, however, the once beautiful and desirable body of Sirimā underwent a profound transformation. It bloated, and from its 9 orifices, maggots emerged. The Buddha decided to lead his community of monks to the cemetery, accompanied by King Bimbisāra and his retinue. The young monk, still unaware of Sirimā's demise, joined the gathering, eager to catch a glimpse of the woman who had captured his heart. Amidst the assembled group, the Buddha stood alongside his congregation of monks on one side of the corpse, while the nuns, the king's retinue, and the lay disciples positioned themselves on the other side, each in their appropriate place. Curious about the identity of the deceased, the Buddha queried King Bimbisāra, "Great king, who is this woman?" The king responded respectfully, "Venerable sir, she is Sirimā." Addressing the king, the Buddha proposed, "Is this Sirimā?" The king affirmed, "Yes. Venerable sir, this is indeed Sirimā." The Buddha then, in his wisdom, instructed the king, "Very well, great king. Announce through the town by beating a drum and proclaim anyone willing to pay 1,000 pieces of money may have Sirimā." With bated breath, the crowd awaited a response, but not a single person uttered a sound of interest. Undeterred, King Bimbisāra steadily reduced the price, from 1,000 pieces of money to a penny, then to a half-penny, and further to a quarter of a penny, and further to a quarter of a penny, and an eighth of a penny. Still, there was no response from the silent multitude. Finally, with a sense of resignation, the king declared, "They may have her for nothing." The sound of the drum reverberated through the air, but the people remained unmoved, refusing even the gift of Sirimā. Understanding the lesson that had unfolded before them, the king turned to the Buddha and lamented, "Venerable sir, no one is willing to take her, not even as a gift." With compassion and insight, the Buddha addressed the monks, saying, "Behold, my disciples, and understand the value that society places upon a woman. Once, men in this very city were willing to pay a fortune for the privilege of spending a single night with Sirimā. Yet now there is not a soul willing to accept her as a gift. Such was the impermanence of her beauty, which has faded away. Observe, my dear monks, this body that was once desired and adored is now ravaged by disease and decay. Our physical bodies are temporary and delicate, relying on external adornments like clothing and fragrances to enhance their attractiveness. However, despite our efforts, our bodies are inevitably subject to aging, illness, and eventual mortality. It is foolish to become overly attached to superficial fantasies, perceiving that which is inherently flawed and impermanent as beautiful and desirable. And so the gathering stood witness to the transitory nature of worldly desires, as the body of Sirimā, once an object of longing, lay before them, diseased, corrupt and devoid of the beauty that had captivated hearts. The young monk, his infatuation shattered, learned a profound lesson about the impermanence of external appearances and the fleeting nature of desire.